is about alignment. And if you have been listening to the podcast since season 1, or even if you caught a few episodes, you probably know that I get really excited when there's an episode that is super relevant in my life right meow. And that is alignment. So I'm super excited to be here talking with Kimberland today. Y'all, sometimes alignment is who you meet and when. Okay? Because me and Kimberland, we've been experiencing alignment since day 1.
Facts.
And that's why we're here talking about it today. So I'm going to let her introduce herself to y'all. Be prepared, y'all, because you're not even ready. And once she is done letting you know just what you need for this conversation, because she is a wealth of knowledge, okay? We're barely going to get into it today. Then we'll start the conversation and we just go fly. Okay, so strap in. Make sure you know where your exits are.
All the things, all the things. I am so excited to be here. And even when you talk about alignment, I was telling you the way I even saw your message, because I'm not often in group chats and pages and that. It'd be a lot for me. So for me to see your message and then to reach out, and then when we met, it was like, okay, we're doing this. So speaking of alignment, it's really been from the inception of our meeting and even this opportunity. So, hey, y'all, my name is Kimberland, and I am an intuitive melanated life coach. I am an educational activist and advocate. I am a podcaster, podcast producer, network executive. I'm a school improvement specialist, and I specialize in school climate and culture. I do a lot. I'm an actor, I'm a model. I be out here doing the things. Okay. So yeah, there's so much to get into of talking about alignment. I feel like that's my entire life. So I'm ready to dig into the things.
Period. Okay, so y'all heard how she does all the things, right? Y'all heard it. Okay, so when we're talking about alignment can touch so many things. That's why I didn't say like moving with alignment or meeting people with alignment. No, alignment is everything. It's who you
Yeah.
know, it's what you're doing, it's what you're thinking about, it's what you feel called to. It's
Mm-hmm.
all alignment. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what it is to me. Alignment is just, it's this energy. Alignment is
Yes.
when you walk into this room and you meet a person who's working on something that is the same thing that you were just talking to your best friend about last week, right? That's alignment.
Yes.
That's what it feels like and looks like for me. Kimberly, what is alignment like to you, just so that they know what we're even talking about?
I love this because we got a level set, right? We got to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
we're using the same language, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting because this word alignment is a word that I've started using in my relationships, because it just makes it so much easier to understand what's happening as opposed to having to villainize other people.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, alignment means that we're vibrating at the same frequency at this time and space and place in life. And I find that type of language so much more comforting, because there was a time that we may have vibed, right? Like I'm 44. So, hanging out, for instance, in the club and all that, I'm not doing that. Okay. I am trying to be in my home, meditating and rubbing my feet together, by at least 9 p.m. Okay, listen, I am full on auntie-hood and I'm all right with that. Okay. So if I come across people and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so cool, we want to hang out, and you're trying to go to the club, we're not in alignment. We're not in alignment. And that's all right, because there are people who are in alignment with you. I just might not be one. So for me, it really is that same frequency. And you can feel it. It's like a full body experience that you feel the vibe and the synergy, and like things flow with ease because alignment is happening,
Mm. Ashe. And I actually really love what you're saying about alignment in relationships, helping you to not villainize anyone,
Yeah.
because that's huge. The way that
Yes,
our society is constructed, we love a good guy, bad guy, protagonist,
absolutely.
antagonist, right? We love that storyline.
Yes.
But it doesn't actually always have to exist. There are definitely times where just objectively somebody did some fucked up shit.
Yes.
Somebody was wrong and somebody
Mm-hmm.
was victimized and now is a survivor, or maybe they
Correct.
didn't survive.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just a different vibe. Sometimes you want to go to the club and I want to go to book club.
That's
Maybe I
it.
never liked the club. Maybe I liked the club back then. Maybe I like the club again another day. But right now we just not in alignment and there is no
Just
bad
not.
guy.
And what's been interesting with that is, so I am late diagnosed neurodivergent, and I am just now having the language to be able to communicate a lot of these alignment issues that have happened. And in the process of unmasking and allowing yourself to just be who you are, and not feeling like you have to apologize every time or make excuses or mask and pretend, that you're someone that you're not. The conversations about alignment have brought me a lot of comfort,
Mm.
actually, because it's allowed me to be able to maintain the core of relationships that may have been romantic, but what I really loved the most about the relationship was the friendship.
Mm.
And the romantic part of it just doesn't align anymore due to somebody realizing I actually don't like to be touched, and the other person like I needs to touch all the time. That's not alignment. It's made those conversations so much more empowering, and there's so much more empathy that is there. And it's this whole process has given me the ability, even with my friendships and the people that I choose to have in my orbit, to actually be able to communicate from a place of knowing and understanding who I am and what I need. And that doesn't
Mm.
make me a bad person. And also being able to receive what they need and who they are and where they are in their process. There's a lot of understanding that lives there, and there's a lot of safety that lives there when you are able to look at things with an aligned lens.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so real in my life as well. Um, what I do is promote self-love and relationship healing. And
Hmm.
sometimes people think that relationship healing means that I think that every relationship can be reconciled.
Mm.
You can come back together with any person. That's not what
Mm.
relationship healing means.
At all.
It means alignment. It
Yeah.
means that if you need this thing and this other person needs this thing and these two things can't exist together, guess what kind of relationship you got to have with that person to heal it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the relationship has to change. Sometimes it has to be more distance. I've been
Correct.
having a lot of conversations in my friend group lately about what does it mean to honor your close friend group and
Mm.
then honor your acquaintances and then honor the
Mm-hmm.
people that you just say hi to when you see them in
Uh-huh.
public, and then the people that you do business with but you don't hang out with socially because you just good in business together.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does it look like to
Yeah.
honor all of those things and know that they're all okay and you're
Yeah.
in alignment with all of those
Yes.
people in those ways?
Yes. Yes. I love a good, see, this is how I describe boundaries.
Mm,
I call it circles of access.
gotcha.
And everyone should not have the same level of access to you. And it's important for us to understand who should have which access, because oftentimes we are harmed because we have people closer to us than they should be. Right. So like I'll describe it like I used to say, there are people that in your neighborhood, there are people that, you honk the horn at when you're driving by, like, all right, right, and you just keep it pushing. You ain't never been to their house, they ain't never really been to your house, y'all just see each other, right? Then it might be the next level might be y'all staying on the sidewalk or maybe in the middle of the street and talk sometimes, and just have a little conversation of whether it's nice to such and so, your dogs and things and all that. Then it might be, okay, now y'all standing on your side of the sidewalk. So now we actually having a conversation, leaning on the fence, hanging out for a little
Mhm.
bit. Now you might actually invite them into the yard, right? So it's like, yeah, let's sit down, have some tea with me, some lemonade, what have you. Then you invite them on the porch, right? Then from there into the living room. Then from there, who gets to go into your bedroom?
Mhm.
Right? And sometimes we have people that was supposed to be out in the middle of the street, or you was just supposed to be bum bum, just hollering at them right quick. And we got them in our bedroom, and we've allowed them to see parts of ourselves that they never had the right to see. So I love the way to describe it that way, because I feel like having boundaries and being clear with what does align with your energy and what doesn't align with your energy, and then honoring those boundaries allows you to feel safety. And we're supposed to feel safe with our inner circle, and we're
Mm.
supposed to feel safe when we're in our home. And if we don't, then we have to investigate what is happening here that is out of alignment. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It means that our season has ended and I have to do something different for me. And that's okay. I still love you the same, or maybe not, whatever. But thank you for the time that you were here and for the times that we had. And now I'm gonna prioritize me, you know?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful thing to just and I find that a lot of these things end up just being small perspective shifts. But
Mm-hmm.
that small perspective shift towards alignment
Yeah.
makes a huge difference in your life.
Yes.
And it's this give and take, this interchangeable relationship of the people that you're around and the situations that they foster, and the people that you're around and the situations that they foster, the
Mm-hmm.
people that they bring around, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, are you in alignment with the situations you're in too? Like, I
Right.
found actually it was, I love me some brunch, right?
Okay.
I love me some brunch.
Same. Mm-hmm.
And I went out to brunch with my sister a few months ago. That girl's my bestie too. It's just, it's a nice little coincidence. And so we love brunch and we go out to brunch a lot. And we found that not every brunch is for us. We are not in alignment with every brunch situation.
Mm.
Sometimes the
So
brunch,
tell me some of the
yeah, I'm like,
things, like what.
sometimes it's brunch and let's network and let's talk about community and
Okay.
let's, you know, build towards what you're working on, talk about what you're healing from. And sometimes it's let's brunch and pop bottles and dance and listen to music. And I don't know,
Yeah.
I've been there before. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with any of those things I just
Yeah.
listed on this side of the activity, but I found that I just wanted to leave.
That's not your vibe.
And it's still
That's not your
brunch.
vibe. Yeah.
It's
But the
still brunch.
environment makes a difference, right? And that's the thing, is like, I remember, so y'all gonna have to go to my YouTube page to catch up on all the things that I'm about to just throw out here. Like they're just light work, and I know if we had time we would unpack them.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was living in Pennsylvania, before I left the US and before I experienced all the harm that was caused there, at one point I had 3 mental health specialists. And just before I took the trip here to Medellin for the first time, because that's where I decided that I was going to leave, she told me she wanted me to focus on my environmental wellness. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really know what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, when you go there, I don't know if she knew about Medellin. I don't know if she had ever been, but she said, when you go there, I want you to pay attention to how the environment makes you feel and how it impacts your body. So I said, okay, girl. So I get on the plane, I come, and the first thing that I felt, Medellin is the city of eternal spring. Medellin, Colombia, for anyone who is wondering, is the city of eternal spring, and it is so much green everywhere. On the sides of buildings, on the side of the interstate, just everything grows, and it grows so effortlessly. And I have been fighting with another one of my mental health specialists about having plants because I was like, girl, I kill plants. I don't need to do that. And she kept telling me to get them, right? But then when I came to Medellin and I felt that energy, the energy of we care about nature and we're putting it on display, and we're like, even it rains different here. It rains like they're misting plants. Okay.
Wow.
So anyway, when I felt that, it is when I started to pay attention to how environments make me feel. Because you can feel energy when you walk into a space. And I am known for telling people, I will go home. Do you hear me? If I walk in somewhere and I feel a vibe, I'm out of there. I ain't asking no questions. I don't, where you was at? I was here and I'm gone. Because we spend so much time in environments that make us feel uneasy or just uncomfortable, unwelcome, unwanted, and unsafe. And we train ourselves to stay in those environments, even though it is eroding something within us every single day. Hey, anybody's listening, go home. Go to your safe place. You don't have to stay in places that don't make you feel your best. So yes, it's brunch food over there, but that vibe, that's not your vibe. And that's all right.
Nervous system be tore up as hell, and
A
you just
wreck.
wondering why.
A wreck. Okay. And I know because I've been there.
Yeah.
I did it. You know what I mean? And being here and making intentional different choices about my life and for myself has allowed me to experience a calm nervous system. I did not know what that was. I had trauma from the womb. So
You're not
being
having
able
me on
to
this
get that,
podcast crying.
but for real, because
Yeah.
that's so many of our stories. You know, like that's why I left the US and that's why I stay away, because I'm able to have peace. And that is what we need in our lives more than anything, especially now.
It's priceless.
It is.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. That part. Alignment feels so different than forcing yourself into spaces and around people that you are not meant to be around. And it don't matter if you were born into these spaces. It doesn't matter if you feel like that space chose you. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
You have to go where your body, this is your home.
Yeah.
You have to go where this feels right, where this feels safe. Trust your nervous system. Like my nervous system, I intentionally made my home into a place where I would feel safe, where I would feel calm. I used to not feel safe to really even close my eyes. Like it was at a level of dysregulation.
Yeah.
My nervous system was all over the place. I was having physical responses from this. I am at a point where I'm still recovering from disordered eating around how my nervous system was just firing off.
Same.
Yeah. So I remember the first time I noticed that I felt safe at home. I was like, oh, dang. Like I didn't even know it could be like this.
I'm curious, because the whole time you're talking, I'm thinking to myself, how did you get that understanding? So what was the situation where what was the context, if you will? Paint the picture for me. What was happening for you to feel suddenly realize, I feel safe?
I was actually realizing it was the absence of so many things that I realized. It was quiet, you know? It was clean. There wasn't a lot of people around. You know, there was light, sunlight coming through the windows. I could hear the birds. You know what I mean? Like things like that. Like there was a sense of awareness that I was able to have. I could be present in the room without feeling like it was unsafe and like I need to retreat back into me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. Like I really started to notice things. outside of books, because that's where I was mostly noticing stuff at home.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
safe place. But bringing my head up out of that book and entering the space was not always a welcome thing. So
Yeah.
being able to do that and just like be present was really the difference. That's when I
Mm.
started to be like, oh, okay, so this is what I need. These things
Mm.
make me feel calm. And immediately recognizing that did not mean that I had it right away, right? It didn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that that was
Mm-hmm.
then for the rest of my days. I just
Yeah.
experienced that. Of course not. But it was a starting point,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
awareness.
Absolutely. It's the first step. It's the first
Hmm.
step. That's what I teach people how to do, is to connect back to their bodies and to listen to your intuition, because our bodies are always trying to protect us and keep us safe and sending us signals about what is safe and what isn't. It's just that we are trained to not trust our body.
Yeah. Which brings
So,
us
but
out of alignment.
correct. Correct. And who does that benefit? It's for the benefit of the system,
Mm.
because we are being treated as robots. We are not robots. We are human beings. And a part of that is this intuitive body that we inhabit, this brain that we have that just functions in so many different ways. Like there's just so much there, but because we are trained to ignore, I'm talking ignore all kinds of things, ignore
Yeah.
signals that we're hungry and need to go to the bathroom, versus I don't like this type of brunch versus the other type of brunch. Like we're trained to not trust ourselves. So an important part of that is re-inhabiting our bodies and getting to a place where there is stillness and calm, and you're able to hear and sense and feel and
Mm.
just be for a moment. You know, we don't often have a chance to just be. I grew up in a house, baby. If the sun was up, you
You
was
better
up
be
doing
still.
something. It didn't matter what you was doing. You could just be sitting there just wiping the same spot. Oh, as long as you looked busy, the sun is up, you better
Yeah.
be doing something. You know, and that is not what life is supposed to be like. My God, get some deliverance. Relax,
Yeah.
rest. And I remember as a child even often being like, I just want to sit down. I used to go and escape to this lake that was in the middle of a golf course, and I would be out there for hours, because home was crazy as hell. You hear me?
Mm.
That was where I was able to find peace. So the awareness of even saying, oh, silence, that brings me peace. For some people, it doesn't. For some people,
Mm.
silence is loud. And that's all right, because it's your own special recipe for what peace look like, right? Plants bring me peace. They're so green. It just makes me feel so connected to the ground, right? Music also brings me peace, but a certain type. Now, I'm not ready to cut it down and twerk it on down. The knees ain't like they used to be,
Mm.
all right? Now, I be trying sometimes, but that's not the vibe I'm on all the time. It takes time for me to ease into my day to get there. You know, so taking time to actually go inside your brain and inside your spirit to see, how can I cultivate this recipe to help me to experience the peace that they're talking about, because you deserve it. You
Yeah.
deserve it.
And that knowledge of self is really alignment with self.
For
It's
sure.
it's you taking the time to check in with you in a world that tells you that that is selfish and bad and wrong.
Correct. Correct.
It's a gift to yourself to be in alignment with yourself. Then you've built up your intuition, which you now trust.
Yep.
You're not out here letting everybody tell you what's what. When you're out of alignment with yourself, you're dysregulated, you're
All over the place.
confused, everything is happening too fast. Life is just throwing things at you, and you just feel like you're, oh, like,
Toss
I'm,
to and
I'm
fro.
telling you, I've been there before.
Yes. Same.
I know exactly what it feels like. But you can reclaim your power by looking within and literally just asking yourself questions. What do I like? What don't I like?
Yeah. What brings me
Do I like
joy?
do I like noise when I need to calm down, or do I just need it to be quiet? Like,
Yeah.
ask yourself such basic questions. Ask yourself stuff that you know the answer to,
Mm.
and answer it to yourself
Mm.
if you
You
so
just
sure.
gave me an
Since
idea.
you got your degree and you know everything.
Since you know everything, you just really gave me an idea because while in theory this sounds so easy
Mm,
and so simple, I'm oftentimes the question that I anchor a lot of conversations with is what brings you joy.
mm,
And so many times people are unable to tell me. They do not authentically know what brings them joy. Um, and it's it's interesting because that means that we haven't even had the time to sit down to like actually experience the fullness of that, you know. Those questions are so important. So you're making me think about, I'm like, I need to make a list of the questions because there are so many that you can start asking yourself to just start taking inventory of what you need, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Because there is very possible. So, for instance, I'll say light for me has to be warm.
Mm,
Otherwise, I'm losing it. And I mean all my shit. Okay. Can't do it. I don't know why. I don't know the science per se. I haven't looked it up. But that is a need for me. So I carry with me a lamp.
mm,
So no matter where I am, if it's light deficient, I am able to allow myself to have that sense of calm and safety and peace. And it's something that might seem so simple, but that brings me joy. And I know that if I have that institutionalized light, I'm not going to be my best. So let
mm-hmm.
me make the accommodations for myself that I need to make so that I can experience peace in my body and in my spirit.
So real. So real. Because I also don't like white light. I get
Mm.
overstimulated really quickly
Ooh,
with white light.
baby. Tears me down. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. That level of self-knowledge, self-reflection, it's very telling if you giving yourself the level of attention and care to know what kind of light you prefer.
Yeah.
That is inspiring, truly,
Mm, thank
because
you.
that's a huge act of self-love and self-care. And I know that oftentimes that's a level of self-care you have to teach yourself. You have to
For
achieve
sure.
that level on your own because
Yeah.
oftentimes people are not teaching us to love ourselves that way, to that degree.
Correct. 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 And it is a direct manifestation of burnout and realizing I have to investigate every area of my life because what I was doing that that did not work and led to my brain just shutting down and saying, "We're done here. That's it. We're done." I've been trying to tell you for this happened 2 years ago. So for 42 years, sis, I've been trying to tell you that you need to do this and you ain't done it. So guess what? We're done. Okay. And I thank God for my trauma therapist because she was able to help me to really process how to even go about such a task of taking inventory, and it really came back into getting back into my body. I had to be clear about what calm and peace felt like and what disease felt like. And not disease, I'm overwhelmed, I'm about to lose my shit disease, but that slight hint of mm-mm, I don't like this. Something isn't right. That's where I want to honor it. I don't want it to get so bad that now I feel like I have to escape and now I done lost all my shit and now it's all kind of consequences because I've been sitting here trying to make myself stay in this place. I don't want to have to get there. I want to be able to feel it at the slightest bit. And
Yeah.
that's the work that I have been doing in understanding how I need to exist in this stage of life to have that peaceful, calm life that I desire. Because again, I
Yeah.
deserve that, and we all deserve that. So the work that we have to do is to be able to sit down for a second and listen.
Yeah.
Because our body is talking, our spirit is talking, God is talking, the universe is talking. Messages is being sent. Okay.
Yeah.
So our job is to be intentional in saying, I'm going to look for the messages. I'm going to look for the things that are going to help me have this life that I'm saying that I want, you know?
Yes. And when you align yourself, you align yourself with those messages, with that
Correct.
path. It becomes
Correct.
so
So
easy.
clear.
It's
Yes.
it's just you're on the path, you're aligned with yourself, you know what to say yes to, you know what to say
Yep.
no to. You trust that little feeling, that little teeny tiny feeling, right? So it
Yeah.
never even gets to that point where you're like,
Correct.
how could I not know? You're blaming yourself. It's this and that. No, nope. You dialed it
Yeah.
all the way back because you
Yeah.
recognized it at the first sign and you trusted yourself.
Yeah.
And now
And
you
it's a
avoided all the
continuous
bullshit.
process.
Yeah,
Okay. And it's
yeah,
continuous, because we do it and then they're shifting, right? So we got to continue to
yeah,
go back and make sure that it still aligns. And
yeah,
that's all right. It's a consistent my circle, we always talk about audits, energy audits,
yeah,
community audits, relationship audits. Like, we got to continuously
yeah.
be thinking through these things so you can honor what you need.
And when you find that thing that isn't in alignment anymore, don't judge yourself. Don't feel like you did anything wrong. Just know that that's why you do your audits,
That's it.
so that you can see these things.
That's it.
And know that you've done well. You know what I mean? Celebrate that in a way.
Correct.
I'm celebrating the end of relationships. I'm celebrating the end of jobs. I'm celebrating the end of situations that I've been in. Because you know what's on the other side of all those endings? A new beginning, right?
Correct.
Right? Like, it's
All the
so
opportunity.
exciting.
Yes. Yeah, it's really exciting. And you mentioned earlier when you were like, it's small mind shifts. Like, it seems like it's just a little tweak, but a tweak like that to say, instead of thinking about this as me losing something, let me actually think about this as appreciating it for what it was for and the opportunity to have something new and different. Because I learned what I learned and I experienced what I experienced, and now I'm older and I'm wiser. And
Yeah,
let me put it to use. It really, again, it shifts. So that's what I was saying, when having these alignment conversations with people in your life, we don't have to walk away from this enemies. It's
yeah,
it just doesn't align anymore. And now this is what I need for me. And this is what you need for you. And it's okay.
yeah. And that's like truly blessing your path,
For
truly
sure.
appreciating everything that you've been through, honoring that relationship for what it was. It's so
Correct.
beautiful. It negates any need for shame, negates any need for regret. Why? Why regret that you lived that relationship? You knew that person at that time. There was good things
Yeah.
there. Good things happen.
Yeah.
Cherish the good things. And
And
so,
even, can I just say, because I
yeah,
am a
please.
domestic violence survivor, so I do want to honor that there are times that this is not a choice, this is not an easy
Hmm.
thing, right? You mentioned
Hmm.
earlier, like, there's been harm that is caused. I do think on the other side of that, the gift in that is being able to know what I will not ever allow myself to experience that again,
Mm.
right? Like, being able to have the pride that you were able to get out and get
Yeah.
away and still be alive, right? The ability to be able to name, I can now spot certain behaviors and no, that's not going to work for me. I
Yeah.
don't care. And I don't have to label it either, right? So my motto in life is curiosity over judgment. And it's because, one, I spent a whole lot of time being very judgmental in life. But curiosity allows us to not automatically assign somebody as a thing, right?
Mm.
So I might see something that makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't have to label you an abusive narcissist, blase, blase, blah, to be able to say, That I didn't like. And I'm not going to tolerate that. You're the type of person who does this, then we aren't in alignment. That doesn't have to make you a bad person, because somebody else, they might be going for that. I'm not going for that. So we're just not in alignment. And again,
Yeah.
it stops you from going so far deep in. It took me 13 years to get out of that relationship. And that if I knew then what I know now, and that's why I'm constantly, my brand is so centered in transparency, because I don't want anybody to experience the types of things that I have had to experience, because I did not pay attention to what my body was telling me, because I was unhealed from a childhood that set me up behind the bar from the get-go. You know, I'm talking about these things and making these things so plain, because where else we gonna learn it at? We got to break the cycle. When are we going to stop? Like, we've got to stop it. So I love to reach back to my 20 somethings and help them to understand who they are, what alignment looks like for them, what brings your spirit calm and peace. I just finished meeting with one of them earlier, and she was talking about friendship transitions. And she was like, I don't think they like me. And I said, that's very possible. I've spent over 20 years in friendships and having a realization, be like, y'all don't actually like me, huh? Wow. Okay. Well, God bless you. And like moving on, like the freedom even that came with, wow, because the whole time I'm beating myself up. Like, I need to remember birthdays better. I need to do this. Like, why are they not like feeling about me the way I feel about them? Girl, they don't even like you, girl. And that is fine, because there are people who do. And when I release that, now I get the opportunity to welcome people who are in alignment and people who are willing to love me for who I am, period and point blank. You know?
Yeah, and we end up settling in the sense that we are the ones who have decided that this is the best friendships that we can have. It's with people who don't even really like us.
Wow. Ouch.
You know what I mean? And I'm talking to me too.
Yes.
Like that version of me, was like, yeah, this will do. This is cool.
Yeah.
This feels familiar. It didn't feel
That's
right,
the thing.
but it felt familiar.
It felt familiar. Yeah. That's the thing. So then we just accept it as quote unquote normal. But normal isn't healthy.
Yeah, or
we
good.
Got to know what health or good.
Like,
correct.
This is good because it's familiar. I recognize this, right? And what does our society tell us? If we recognize it, it's good and it's safe. And if we don't recognize it, it's other and it's bad and it's alien or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But that's a part of our decolonization process.
Come on.
Right? Is understanding the familiar don't necessarily mean good.
Often don't, because there are very few things outside of our family unit, maybe, but in the world at large, systemically, none of that stuff is set up for us to be successful. So the familiarity is the antithesis of good. It is very bad, really bad,
particularly for us.
Especially for us, you know. So don't go over there to that familiar. And that's the thing, is I be telling people, consider that there is a different way. You know, I've been gone since 2021, and people are just now kind of being like, so what you doing though? Because you done lost weight, you're glowing, your skin, your hair, like all these things. What are you doing? Drinking water and minding my black ass business. And my black ass business is making sure I'm in alignment with this purpose that I have on this earth and with my body, so that I am able to fulfill the things that God put me here to do. That's what I'm doing. You know, like, but people, it doesn't feel normal. And it takes some time sometimes for folks to be like, well, let me try. But just consider, if you will just consider that we are not blowing smoke up your ass. If you will just consider. that there is a different way to exist that allows you to be so connected to yourself and so connected to your divine power and to God to be able to just move with ease. And that doesn't mean it's easy now. Okay, because stuff still be popping up. All right. But that means that I can have the peace and knowing I'm on the path. And one thing I like to say, if I signed up for this life, it's got to be awesome. Because I'm not signing up for no basic ass life. Let me tell you what I ain't finna do. Okay. So if I signed up for this, oh, it's gonna pop at some point. So let's see.
All the time, I'm like, if I signed up for this, I know it's gonna get real much, way, way better. And honestly, that's what
Got to
I
be.
started this journey with. I actually started this
Mm,
journey with not knowing, I didn't have no type of skills for changing my life, changing the way I thought, changing the way I spoke to myself. I just knew I
yeah.
wanted to experience different things. I was like, this
Mm,
ain't it. And I know something else is it. So let me
got to be.
try. I was like, let me just try with these little affirmation things that people are talking about because it sounds fucking ridiculous to say
I'ma
that
just keep
I
saying
have,
the same shit to myself every day, and
yeah,
all of
like,
a
oh,
sudden,
I am happy. No, the fuck I'm not, actually. But I said, okay, I'ma just try. I'ma just try. And so
yes,
when I started with my affirmations, it was all about what I knew was coming soon. Because I'm not here to bullshit myself. I'm not gonna pretend like it's here
yeah,
now. But I
yeah,
can call it into existence. And that was the
yes,
best that I could do. I
yes,
would say I know soon I'm not gonna be dealing with worrying about how I'm gonna pay my bills. I know
yeah,
that's gonna be a thing of the past for me one day. Start
yeah,
where you can. Start with speaking against
yes.
what you don't want in your life. If that's the best you can do with affirmation. And
I
then they
love
will
that.
grow. Why? Because you are putting the energy there. And where you put your
Yes,
energy, it's gonna grow, whatever that thing
yeah.
is.
Oh my
That's
God,
the
Selena, I
alignment.
love
That's the
that so
power of alignment.
much. I love that so much. I have an affirmation video on my YouTube page,
Mm,
and I made it when I had just moved to Mexico. So I had just left the US, and I was trying to figure it out because this is wild to me. Like, I just left the country and what is happening? And admittedly, over the years, I have never really listened to it. I'm the type of person I have been. I'm changing this. I've been the type of person where I do something and then I'm on to the next thing that I had to do. So I'm not staying and hanging out with it. I told y'all and now I'm done. Okay.
mhm.
So that's kind of what was happening until just recently. I made a concerted effort because I'm trying to get my YouTube page monetized and all of that. So I made a concerted effort to like go and look at the analytics and like actually like think through. So I saw that I looked at the real time views and I saw that there were like 6 or 7 people that were listening to my video right then. So I said, let me go listen to what I was talking about. I
Good.
put that video on and I said, oh my God. Girl, you was in your bag when you did this. Like, I could feel my energy that I was putting into these affirmations. And when I tell you, I get comments. One sweet baby, she messaged, she said, can you make this a TikTok audio? And I was like, as soon as I figure out how to do that, sis,
Right, so I'm like,
don't
huh?
I don't know. I really want to be able to do that. If she ever sees this, girl, help me. Okay, because I am an auntie. I don't know. But
Girl, same. I'm like, can I get the tutorial? I don't know how to do it either. Shit.
she said it like it was so easy. She was like, can you put this on the TikTok audio? Girl, I don't know how to do that. But no, I brought that up because affirmations are so powerful and they're even more powerful when it's your voice, when
Yes.
it's you saying the affirmation. So I always recommend that people record themselves, even if you don't do a full on affirmation video to put out there on the YouTubes, right? Record yourself saying these affirmations and say them out loud. so that you can hear yourself talking to yourself. That's the part that makes you believe it. Because remember, in this process, we're working on trusting ourselves and trusting our intuition. So the voices that have been speaking over us have not been voices that have been in alignment. We got to replace that. So now we got to put our own voice back in, right? And when we're talking about our self-talk, a lot of our self-talk real negative. That's the only time we hear our voice saying something negative. I got to put that positive back in. So that's what affirmation does. And over time, you actually start to believe it because you're hearing yourself believe it and say it, and it's manifesting because now you're in alignment with what your spirit wants you to be in alignment with. So now you're just walking on the path, and things are happening because you put your energy and intention towards that. And I know it might sound real woo woo to some folks, but guess what? I be woo woo because I know it works. Okay.
Yes, period. And it's also scientific. I love a little science fact. We are
Same.
reconditioning our brains. When you
Correct.
think something, your brain hears it one way. When you say something, your brain hears it two ways. It gets to hear the think part, and then it also hears it through your ears. You are literally reconditioning your brain with whatever messages you want to replace that voice in your head, right? The voice in your
Yes.
head, psychology said that voice came from somewhere. And that voice is actually the voice of all the people, usually the ones that brought you up. And I ain't
Yep.
saying who that is, but whoever those caretakers were, their voice usually becomes the one in your head.
Correct.
But what you can do through science is replace that voice with your voice and a voice that is affirming you. So I feel
You
like
better
we
come
really just
on here.
gave
You
y'all
be
the
doing
blueprint.
brain research and stuff.
Look, I'm gonna use that little psychology degree. I paid for
You
it.
better use it. Yes, brain research is my current brain research and tea is my current rabbit hole that I'm on. But yes, there it is scientifically proven that it works, right? So, and if there's for anybody who's in religion and thinking to themselves, oh, well, that's, against my religion. Guess what it also says in the Bible? It says to meditate on the word night and day. And if you get to know who God is, then you'll know that God has already said those things about you because God said we are made in his image. So just in case there was anyone else who was like, it's a little too woo-woo for me, okay? There's science and it's in the Bible. Amen? All right.
Okay, we got you. I'm sure there's more bases to cover, baby, but you're gonna have to do that, reconcile that with whoever you need to. But I'm gonna just ask you, Kimberland, is there anything else that we have not said about alignment that you really feel called to share or to emphasize before we wrap up this conversation?
Yeah. Let me think for a second.
I know for me, when it comes to my final wish for y'all folks listening, my final takeaway from this conversation with alignment is I think alignment is a word that can be replaced with trust to a certain extent. Like alignment is its own word for a reason. Words mean things. But I think alignment and trust really go hand in hand. And trusting yourself will bring about alignment.
Yeah.
That is my last word for you.
I love that. I'm going to actually model that type of framework, and I'm going to say alignment brings safety. And we deserve to be safe in our bodies, in our environments, in our world. Give yourself the gift of safety through alignment with yourself, the people around you, your environment. You deserve that.
And do. Zane, Kimberland, how can people hear more of your voice, more of your analysis? How can they find you and pay you and book you and give you all the things?
Yes, all the things. Well, first, let me say I just released, so I'm in the middle, I'm a life coach, I mentioned, and so the melanated life coach, and heavy on the intuition and heavy on the melanation, okay? the entry into that program is Discover Your Destiny. I'm actually in the middle of an active cohort right now, and I'm really excited about that. And what I did for the first time ever is I released my digital workbook for people to have a self-paced experience to go through Discover Your Destiny, because doing it with me, it is an intensive course. It's 10 weeks and we getting it in. There's assignments, you got things to do. And sometimes everyone isn't ready for that and would just really kind of like to take a slow gander. So if you go to dyd25.com, you will be able to learn more about the Discover Your Destiny program. You can see the journey that you will take. You can hear testimonials from past participants, as well as some of my certified intuitive melanated life coaches that are out here in various places in the world. So, but I would love for you all to take the experience. I'm talking women's groups, book studies, church clubs, like people that are looking to really understand your purpose and understand more about how God designed you and to reconnect to the spirit that is inside of you. Discover Your Destiny, dyd25.com. Outside of that, KimberlandJackson.com is my main website. And really, I would say the most interesting thing that lives there are my blogs. So I started blogging in 2017. And it was the first time that I was actually starting to process some of the traumas that I had lived through, and like actually put name to it, and actually say the things, and who the perpetrators were. It's the place where I started to find my voice. And so those blogs still live there, and I actually will be returning to blogging soon. And I'm really excited about that because there's a lot of things that I want to talk about and need to talk about, because I've kind of been muted for a while as I've been healing. Minding My Black Ass Business is also my brand. There's merch at mindingmybblackassbusiness.com, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, all sorts of things over there. My YouTube page is Minding My Black Ass Business, as well as on Instagram. There's so much going on in the Minding My Black Ass Business universe. There's vlogs and podcasts and all sorts of things that are happening over there. So I would love for you to connect with me there. And if you're like, girl, I want to be a part of your like immediate network and make sure I could bless you and stuff, come holler at me on Patreon at Minding My Black Ass Business. I'm building that community over there to be a space where we're able to share and talk about these things. And you get first knowing about all of the things that I'm doing, as well as access to me monthly Zoom calls and things of that nature. So Minding My Black Ass Business on all platforms, KimberlandJackson.com. I appreciate y'all. And
Yeah,
thank you, Salenna,
girl,
for having me.
I just ran to Instagram to make sure I was already following you. I was like, oh, okay, good, because I need to find that merch.
Yes, now is the perfect time, okay?
Yeah.
Because that's all. And drink your water and mind your black ass business, baby. Listen, because we chasing joy and peace. That's it. That's all we are doing, okay? Capes, hang them on up. We're done. All right.
Nice to live by, honey.
You hear
Okay,
me?
y'all. Right, right. You see why we had this conversation? Yes. So follow Hot Girls Healing podcast online. Use hashtag healing in community and hashtag Hot Girls Healing. Find me in community. Come to the spring. You know what? Honestly, by the time this films, you'll have already had to have been there. But just know that the seasonal healing groups are continuing. The monthly meetup is happening online. So find my Instagram, fill out that registration form, and join us once a month to just come together, be in healing community, get support on whatever you're working on, vent if you need to, cry on my shoulder if you need to. Okay, we out here for each other, with each other, and we are all we have, and we are all we need. Okay, so with that being said, I'm your girl, Salenna Green. This has been another wonderful episode of the Hot Girls Healing Podcast. Frankly, I feel like we have outdone ourselves this time. Can y'all tell I'm feeling myself today? All right, now. I got mad love for you all. I will see you out there in community. Bye.
Since I know you're tired, since I know you're stressed, you were always favored and you were always blessed. It's all about that. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. We better day by day. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. And it goes on and on. And when it all goes wrong, we'll celebrate with song. Nothing's gonna hold us down. And it goes on and on. The healing takes so long. But we are proud and strong. Nothing's gonna hold us down. Hot girls healing. Hot girls healing.